Senator from Georgia.
Mr. President, Thursday, a week ago, I had the privilege as a member of the Finance Committee serving on the markup of the African Growth and Opportunity Act, Trade Promotion Authority, and Trade Adjustment and Assistance. This past Saturday, I was given the opportunity to give the Republican response on radio Saturday, and I talked about Trade Promotion Authority. I've been privileged to be a ranking member and chairman at one time of the Africa Subcommittee. I've traveled back and forth to the continent of Africa, seeing the opportunities of trade and business and exchange with the African people. I came to the Congress in 1999, and that year I voted for Trade Promotion Authority for President Bill Clinton, a Democrat. Later, I voted for Trade Promotion Authority for President Bush, a Republican. And I proudly will vote for Trade Promotion Authority for President Obama, a Democrat, because trade is not a partisan issue. It should not be, nor should it ever be a partisan issue. It should be an issue of the American people's employment, opportunity, jobs, and the future. Trade is the cement that holds together the diplomacy and the agreements between countries to work together, play together, and not fight together and not have armed conflict. Trade is important to the security of the United States of America and, in fact, the rest of the world. But I don't want to talk about Trade Promotion Authority today. I want to talk about the African Growth and Opportunity Act. Africa is the continent of the 21st century for the United States of America. 1.5 billion mouths to feed. A number of votes on the UN in terms of the African countries. But most importantly, the rare earth minerals and the natural resources so important to us and the rest of the world. Africa is a gold mine waiting to be mined, but it's not one that we abuse like the Chinese are abusing it. It's one we share in prosperity. You know, when China goes into Africa, they bring their own workers, pay their own workers with Chinese currency, leave and extracts rare earth minerals and oil and petroleum and natural resources. When America goes, we invest in the human capital with PEPFAR to reduce the rate of AIDS, and we invest in the Millennium Challenge Corporation to bring jobs, opportunity, and a lack of corruption to the African people. The African Growth and Opportunity Act is a godsend for the continent of Africa, but it's a godsend for the country of the United States of America, because in the future, Africa will be and will become our greatest trading partner if we handle it right. The African Growth and Opportunity Act that will be before us, along with TPA, is a 10-year extension of AGOA. That's important because it gives predictability to the African countries and to the United States. But more importantly, it gives us the opportunity to file cases with the trade representative against those countries that are not playing by the rules. South Africa is a perfect example. They have blocked access to their market to poultry from the United States of America with arbitrary and capricious blockades to keep our poultry from going in. Senator Coons and I, Senator Coons from Delaware, myself from Georgia, two big poultry states, have confronted the South Africans. We know that under the new AGOA Act, when it's passed and ratified by this Congress and by the African Congress as well, will give us the opportunity to file a petition to ask the trade representative to file a case to open up the South African practices. And if they're found to be right or wrong or corrupt, then we can block South Africa's participation in parts of AGOA or all of AGOA. In other words, AGOA is going to have consequences, much like Millennium Challenge account does. Today, when America makes an investment in a foreign country in Africa for the Millennium Challenge Corporation, there are consequences if they don't end corruption, if they don't have private sector participation, if they don't have the rule of law govern their project. We pull the Millennium Challenge Corporation out and they don't get another grant. Look at the nation of Ghana, which is now working on its third Millennium Challenge grant, or the nation of Benin that's working on its second. Both are improving their infrastructure and their ability to trade and produce with America because of a joint venture between our country and those countries. I want to urge all my colleagues in the House and the Senate to adopt the African Growth and Opportunity Act for 3 reasons. One, it's a 10-year predictable extension of a relationship that we need to grow and prosper. That's number one. Number two, it gives us the tools to not be abused and make sure that if one of the South African countries is abusing American access to their market, we can stop it and we can file a case with the trade representative. But number three, it offers hope and prosperity for America in the 21st century. 1.5 billion mouths to feed. Rare earth minerals, natural resources, the power of the people and the power of the purse of people. Africa is the continent of the 21st century for our country. Having a trade agreement with Africa is essential to seeing to it that we have a prosperous and a free future. With that said, Mr. President, I yield back the balance of my time and note the absence of a quorum.